Here alongside Bob Weeks and Bob, it's the first week of the new LPGA Tour season, and all eyes will be on Canadian Brooke Henderson. It's really hard to believe she hasn't won on the LPGA Tour in 2 years. Obviously, for her standards, that's a long time. What does she need to do to break out of the snap?
Well, she needs to get off to a good start. And I think in terms of the tournaments to play, if there was one you wanted to start off with, it would be this one. She's finished first, second, and third in the last 3 outings of this tournament. But specifically round by round, she also needs, I think, to get off to a fast start. Her opening scoring round last year was 71. Now, that was 30th on the LPGA Tour, but it's not good enough to try and get yourself in contention. We know she's got 9 top 10s last year. Most of them were kind of backdoor. There were very few where she was in contention. If you look at the major championships, it's also kind of scary when you look at her opening rounds were 74. She missed the cut in 2 of them. So I think she's just got to get out of the gate quicker. She knows that. She understands that. She's looking for a way to try and do that. It might be a little bit more conversation with her sister Brittany. It might be more prep beforehand and going in being a little more aggressive in the first day. But whatever she's doing, she needs to get off to a faster start.
It's interesting because at the major championships last year, she did have a T3, but she also had those 2 missed cuts, right, which we're not used to seeing from Brooke Henderson. And as we head into this season, she's also made a couple of different changes. Let's get to those, starting with the equipment.
Okay, so she's put a new driver and a new hybrid in the bag. These are the TaylorMade QI35 line. She apparently really likes it. She spent a lot of time trying to dial in exactly the shaft, exactly the setup that she wants on this. Her driving stats, I think, could be a lot better than they were last year, and so that's one of the keys for her. She is one of the longer drivers on the LPGA Tour, and that's something she can use to her advantage. So having a good driver, and a hybrid for that matter, for her those second shots on the par 5s, I think is very key to her. You know about her driver and the stats that she had on those.
Yeah, 100%. Her driving accuracy, 56th on the LPGA Tour last year. Greens and regulation, they were 9th. And those numbers, interestingly, were actually better than they were in 2023. The numbers that she has to get better at here: putts per round, sand save, scoring average, birdies, rounds in the 60s, to your point, first round scoring average, all worse than they were in 2023. And as we know with Brooke Henderson, if she putts well, she's in the mix. She said, direct quote, "When the putter is rolling well, I'm usually in the mix." And she's made a putter change late last season, right?
Yeah, she did. She went to the Kingdom, which is the big technical place where players of all abilities can get dialed in from TaylorMade. She went into this putting lab. It's a fascinating place. I know, Scully, you were in there earlier in the year.
We were there together. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. It's a pretty cool place, but she went in there and she got set up, and she was really offline with a lot of things that she thought she was doing, which is not unusual for those situations. You can think you're putting on a certain line, but when you don't get your head in the right position or you don't get the blade squared up, it can make a big change. She has played traditionally most of her golf with a center shafted putter, meaning the shaft comes into the middle of the putting blade. Mackenzie Hughes is another one who uses the same thing. She's moved now to one that's more traditional, where the shaft comes in at the heel, and she's hoping that will give her a little better feel on the greens. But boy, she could really go a long way by improving that.
And something I'm really curious to see in 2025, does Brooke use the pin in or pin out when putting? Now, a big reason why she had the pin in for so long is because she couldn't see, Bob.
Right.
And she wore glasses for, about a year and a half or so. But now she's had eye surgery. The glasses are off. She's wearing contacts, at least for the first start of the season. And she was talking about how there's more freedom. She was even noticing her glasses while she was putting in her swing. So with this freedom, this has to be a good thing, right?
Well, it's amazing to think that she played with nothing on for the most of her career. It was in 2023 that she put the glasses on. And she said, my gosh, I can start seeing things right now. I can see where the ball is going. For a long time, she used to tee off, and automatically she would sort of reach down and pick her tee up, and everyone thought, oh, well, she's just so assured of where the ball is going, she doesn't have to worry about it. But really it was that she couldn't see where the ball was going, so she didn't know. She had to rely on Brittany. When she put the glasses on, she said it was like night and day, and she made some big improvements to a lot of parts of her game. But I think, as you pointed out, Adam, a lot of the stuff now is in terms of where those glasses were sitting, where she was lining up putts. She could get distracted by a rim of the glasses. So now she's going to start with the contacts. First event this week.
So yes, Brooke Henderson didn't win last season, but she did have 9 top 10s, the most of any player who didn't get a victory last season on the LPGA Tour.